In the Black Sea, following a surge in Russian military activity and repeated provocations in the airspace and maritime zones of NATO member states, Turkey emerged as the first country to respond decisively by shooting down Russian reconnaissance drones without issuing prior warnings. As further incidents have occurred, Russia now risks triggering a strong reaction from Ankara that could have far-reaching consequences, including the disruption of Russian trade routes without the need for direct military confrontation, according to the RFU news outlet. Russia's efforts to preserve its influence in the Black Sea are increasingly faltering as Ukrainian naval drones steadily undermine Moscow's maritime presence. In response, Russian forces have expanded the use of reconnaissance and strike drones across the wider Black Sea region in an attempt to restore situational awareness and safeguard remaining strategic assets, including oil tankers linked to the so-called Shadow Fleet. This escalation has raised alarm across NATO countries. In one notable case, a mysterious drone fitted with a parachute and a suspected explosive device was discovered intact in a Romanian forest by local hunters. With a wingspan of roughly 2 meters, Romanian authorities assessed that the drone had likely been used to monitor NATO facilities or track military aid shipments destined for Ukraine. Police immediately secured the area, highlighting growing concerns over Russia's increasingly bold actions within NATO territory. Turkey has felt this pressure more directly than most, as 3 separate Russian drones violated Turkish airspace within a short span of time. According to RFU News, these incidents pushed Ankara closer to taking decisive countermeasures. The first violation involved a Russian drone entering Turkish airspace from the Black Sea. Turkish air defense systems reacted swiftly, and F-16 fighter jets intercepted the aircraft, which was ultimately shot down using an AIM-9X Sidewinder missile. Although debris was scattered across difficult terrain, the response sent a clear signal that Turkey will not tolerate unauthorized military aircraft operating within its airspace. The second incident raised even greater concern when a Russian Orlan-10 reconnaissance drone crashed near the city of Izmit, approximately 50 kilometers from Istanbul. Based on its trajectory and range, analysts believe the drone was launched from Russian-occupied Crimea and assigned to monitor Black Sea activity, particularly Ukrainian naval drones. The fact that the drone reached such proximity to one of Turkey's most important industrial and population centers intensified worries about the scope and intent of Russian surveillance operations. The third case involved the discovery of debris from a Russian Merlin reconnaissance drone in western Turkey. The Merlin platform is capable of staying airborne for up to 10 hours, operating at altitudes of up to 5 kilometers, and conducting surveillance with advanced optical and electronic sensors. As with the earlier incidents, Turkish authorities concluded that this was not an accidental malfunction but evidence of ongoing intelligence-gathering activity. Taken together, these 3 incidents crossed multiple Turkish red lines, as they occurred near strategically sensitive locations, including defense industry sites, refineries, and naval and air bases. The pattern strongly suggests deliberate reconnaissance rather than navigational mistakes, with Russia seeking to monitor Ukrainian naval drone operations and shipping movements near critical waterways. It also reflects a broader shift in regional security dynamics, where relatively inexpensive unmanned systems can generate significant strategic consequences. For Turkey, the challenge now extends beyond interception to include early detection, clear attribution, and effective deterrence. This escalation increases the likelihood of a much harsher Turkish response. Should Ankara determine that repeated Russian drone incursions constitute a direct security threat, it could consider restricting Russian civilian shipping through the Bosporus as a retaliatory measure. Such a decision would have severe repercussions, potentially crippling Russian trade in the Black Sea and placing unprecedented strain on the framework of the 1936 Montreux Convention, which guarantees free passage for merchant vessels. Novorossiysk, a key port handling around 20% of Russia's oil exports, would face serious logistical bottlenecks, while grain exports reliant on southern ports could collapse, further intensifying economic and political pressure on Moscow. Alternative export routes via the Baltic Sea or the Pacific Ocean lack sufficient capacity to offset such losses, making any disruption of the Bosporus strategically disastrous for Russia. Turkey is clearly signaling that it views Russian drone activity over the Black Sea and Turkish territory as a growing and serious threat. The immediate destruction of the first drone demonstrated Ankara's readiness to act, while subsequent undetected intrusions highlighted the need for stricter airspace control. Unlike some other NATO members, Turkey appears unwilling to tolerate repeated violations passively. If Russian drone operations continue, Ankara may be prepared not only to close its Black Sea airspace but also to escalate further by restricting access to the Bosporus, making it clear that espionage and provocations against NATO members in the region will carry tangible and costly consequences.